In this segment, I'm going to take a look at the Zoom tool, which is found here on the left-hand toolbar. We'll also take a look at the measuring tool and talk a little bit about guidelines and those sorts of things. So what I'm going to do to get started is choose Open. And I'm just going to simply open one of the designs that I found in the Creative Monogram samples that were installed with the software. So it goes ahead and opens up that design for us. Now, I guess I've already shown that I can zoom in by simply scrolling up on my scroll mouse on my mouse, and I can zoom out by scrolling down on my mouse. But you also have the ability to go to a specific zoom level. So if I wanted to specifically see this at 25% or at 200%, then I have those choices. You also have the ability here, and this is the zoom tool. Now notice on the zoom tool that the option is there's a little triangle here. And when I click on the triangle, it shows me that there's more than one option for this tool. And so first of all, we've got zoom in, we've got zoom previous, we've got zoom all, and we've got a panning tool. So if I choose zoom in, basically it makes my mouse like a little zoom tool, and if I click, it'll zoom in. If I go back to the tool and hold down and go zoom previous, it'll go back to the I guess previous zoom ratio or relationship that I had made. So let me try that again. So zoom previous will take me back to the previous one. I could say zoom all, and it will specifically show me everything on my screen. And then why don't I use the zoom tool and just show that I can also click and drag to make a box, and it will zoom to the box that I drew. Now when I'm zoomed in like this, if I choose the little hand for panning, then it makes my mouse like a hand, and I can just click and drag to move the design around my screen, but it doesn't change the zoom factor at all. So that's called panning. So that's your tool. You have basically zoom in, zoom previous, you have zoom all, and then you have the ability to do panning. Now you'll notice I've got my panning hand here, and to let go of that I might want to choose my selection tool to let go of that. Now another thing you have is a measuring tape, and with the measuring tape you simply click to turn it on, and then your mouse starts to look a little bit like a ruler, and the way it works is you click and drag to measure something, and so every time I click, so if I wanted to know how wide is this design, I'll click on one side and drag to the other side, and I can see that it's 7.9 or 8 centimeters. How wide are the lettering? The lettering is about 3.4 centimeters. How tall is the lettering? Let's see. I'll click on the top of the letter C, scroll down. The lettering is 2.18 centimeters tall. So that's your measuring tool. To let go of it, I can either put escape or just simply click on the transform tool to let go of that tool. Now you also have the ability to create guidelines, and notice, I'm just going to close this sequence manager for a minute. Notice here that my workspace is surrounded by a bit of a ruler, and so you can see here the axis. So there's the 0 for the grid going horizontally, and there's the 0 for the grid going vertically. And basically these are measurements, and the closer I get, so as I scroll in, notice that the smaller measurements of my grid start to appear, and just like a ruler, if I get close enough, I'll be able to see all of the different sort of units of measurement with sort of larger marks for the center points. Anyway, so that's your, I guess, measuring tape that's always on your screen. And the other thing you have the ability to do is add a guideline. Now to create a guideline, if I want to create a horizontal guideline, I simply click on the ruler and then click and drag to bring a guideline into my design. For example, I'll put a guideline here at the top. And now I'm just going to zoom out and show that I've got a line that's here, and that guideline can be used to get embroidery to all line up along a certain line. I can add a horizontal grid or guideline by just clicking on the left-hand ruler and bringing that in. So if you want to, you can create as many guidelines as you want for your design, and that way, I guess, if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to drag a box to select all of those objects, and then maybe we could use copy and paste to make a second copy of those objects, and then using those grid lines to duplicate them in your design, so to help them, I guess, align. Yeah, so that's how you can create guidelines, and how you can use your zoom tool, and how you can use your measuring tape.